Today's episode of the Farrell Podcast is brought to you today by Toppers Tap Room and Terrace. Toppers Tap Room and Terrace, 787 Mercer Grove City Road, Mercer, PA. Dining hours are as follows: Monday and Tuesday closed, Wednesday and Thursday 12 to 9, Friday and Saturday 12 to 10, and Sunday 12 to 8. For reservations, please call 724-269-7687. That's Talbot's Tap Room and Terrace, 787 Mercer Grove City Road, Mercer, PA. And now let's start the show.
Welcome to another dope, sensational episode, season two of the Farrell Podcast, episode 23, like Mike Jordan, the greatest to ever touch the rock. I am the landlord, the leader of the Ballhead Nation, Mont P. That's right, y'all. And to my left, I have my good brother, my friend.
Shawn Anderson, city manager of Farrell.
And thank you for coming on, Mr. Anderson. And of course, it's your man, DJ Rich Stacks, the man with all the snacks. How was y'all weekend this weekend?
Well, I myself, I company had a little Christmas party. We had a good time, good food. Shout out to the company. Y'all know who you are. Uh, and yeah, we had a good time. Me and the fellow employees. We had a good old time. Ate good. Uh, watched some good football. It's all good for me. Whether my Steelers win or lose, I'm just happy to see us with a better quarterback than we had in the last 5 years. We on the right track, and you can't cry about that there. You know what I mean? We clinched the playoffs spot last week, so we still in the playoffs. And yeah. I prepped for Christmas cooking and everything. I almost said Thanksgiving. Dang, the years went so fast. Yeah, dang, I got stuck like, dang, it's things. Yeah, but I prepped for Christmas. I went and got my lamb, skinned that on up, took some of the fat off, got my dry rub seasoning on that and everything. So I had a productive, fun weekend myself. I can't complain. How about yourself, Mr. Sean? What you get into?
I spent the weekend moving to Farrell.
That's
Finally
what's
got
up.
got my own
Okay.
little spot in Farrell.
To
So
the F officially.
for me and my son, he's a college student. So me and my son and I placed for my granddaughter to visit. But I spent the weekend moving, so it wasn't not as young as I used to be. So
It's you and your son?
yeah, my youngest
Oh, like me and my son. Oh,
my youngest son Jonathan, he's
I
20
might
years
need a
old.
key. Can I get a key? Oh, like that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we don't want no borders.
Thanks.
Oh, no
No
borders.
sub, Lisa. No sub, Lisa.
Yeah,
All right,
so
all
I did
right.
slept in Farrell this weekend, so it was a bit surreal uh,
Yeah.
leaving my hometown after all these years. But yeah, so that's what I did all weekend.
You better be lucky that you didn't move to Furham and was sleeping over here, and we used to have that curfew bill to go off at night. Oh my gosh, you'd have been like, "What the heck is that?" Is it a
Every
tornado?
night at a quarter to 10, right?
Yeah.
Curfew bell.
We got a whole curfew bill. Yeah.
Oh wow, I haven't heard one of them in years.
Yeah, it's been ages here. This weekend, I got a chance to chill out, watch
It's
some
painful.
basketball. I
Okay.
watched basketball, Cleveland Cavaliers this weekend.
You watch the
Watched some
Browns too.
college football. No, I didn't pay attention to that
Yeah,
game.
he didn't want to talk.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah, he don't.
Yeah, stick a fork in it.
All right.
After my man Nick Chubb got hurt last week, I was hurt. I was hurt, but he went out on his own accord. Brown's favorite phrase. Maybe next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Greatest fan base in sports. That's
Oh,
what I
the
say.
most loyal, Mr. Sean. I
Greatest
don't
fan
know.
base in
Like,
sports, bro.
yeah, yes. Go
Why do
hard.
they treat us so bad though? Come on, D and Jim has them. Could y'all please next year don't draft a quarterback? I don't want y'all messing nobody else's career up. The offensive line is what needs to be addressed, please. Thank you.
Bro, they're like the Pirates owners. We already discussed this. They don't even care. Neither one of those franchise owners care. They out there just making money. Jerry Jones too.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, you got to throw
they
the
don't even
Cowboys in the
care.
equation.
That's
They
my
don't care.
that's
They just
my
making that
squad.
money.
And Jerry Jones has definitely proven at the end of the day, it's about that bottom line.
Yeah,
Hey, because when he told that lie and said, "Oh man, Derrick Henry, that was a little bit too expensive." Man, what? Shut your mouth,
but you
fool.
went out and paid Zeke that money and then
Yeah,
cut him again.
Because that's his
nonsense.
boy. I'm telling you, man, them dudes. But it's their world, right? We just watching. So
Yeah, yeah. And then a long time ago, well, not too long ago, but a while back, I had to tell myself, leave that stuff alone. It's just as entertaining,
Yeah,
That's all
entertainment
it
like
is.
wrestling and everything else.
That's what it is.
Stop it. I'm just not coming to grips the last 2 years that this thing is really scripted. I
yeah.
didn't want to believe it. You know what I mean? Football is my favorite sport, but they really, and I've also believed that even after the guys retire and stuff, it's in their contract that they can't even speak about how scripted it is like wrestling.
You said they signed an NDA.
Right.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's
Yeah,
part
it's
of
the
it.
scripted.
That's all part of the, yeah. Because if you watch some of the pregame shows and stuff, and throughout the week, they gonna give you little details and stuff of what's gonna happen in this game that's coming up. Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe it. I'm done now.
Like you conspiracy theory.
Well, not a little, but yeah,
I feel you.
nah. You
Not
know
to
what I
the
mean?
max.
Betting and all that stuff, and
I
it's just turned me to it. Like, you know what? I'm just
I don't know. There's some footage out there. of Tom Brady back there. The clock was running low, and he tapped his helmet mysteriously. 15 seconds pop back up on the clock. I don't know it.
I mean, that play clock thing is like
Yeah,
funny to me. I've always seen them, and they would hit their head. They forgot to reset the play clock. I don't. That play clock thing is sketchy. It always has been sketchy with me.
no, but I still got faith. I got faith in good football, and unfortunately, I think the Kansas City Chiefs is going to win it again
If it's scripted, why can't your Browns
because they got us written in scripted to
at least
lose.
let the Browns
Right
win
here,
once, bro?
we're the devils are wrestling right now.
Now,
Like,
and then Mr. Sean, we was clowning him like Cleveland
it's a
flipped the
Ponzi scheme.
script. There's a Ponzi scheme, and now they're like, we come to grips, so we'll never play in a Super Bowl. So let's move out of Cleveland, buy a brand new stadium, and host a Super Bowl. That'll be the closest we get to touching one, seeing one, smelling one. I'm sorry, Richard. No, I ain't. It's true.
I know you ain't.
It's
I know you
true.
ain't. We go through this quite often. Mr. Anderson is
I,
saying his name as a him a
I'm a
Steelers fan.
conspiracy theorist. That's
But
deep right there.
then college football, this one they thought that they had it right with that
Mhm.
college playoff thing. Them games looking like some blowouts. So
Yeah,
they got to go back to the drawing board.
you gonna have to rescript that.
Yeah, that's the college football is the sport of all sports, bro.
Yeah,
Them boys play for their lives, but it does seem like they missed the mark with that playoff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
see, I would rather watch college football. Not, I love it all, but college football it hits more because those games are really not over until the clock is on zeros.
Plus, them boys play hard because
yeah,
one loss and you might be out of it. So
Hmm.
now they're starting to do away with that premise because back in the day, them games, every game was tight. But
Yeah.
this college playoff, we'll see how it does. I think
yeah. I'm
once you
just.
get down to the last few games, you'll see some better competition.
Oh yeah, I'm just glad them Buckeyes pulled it out. They got a tough one coming up next though. They got to play them Oregon Ducks again, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be a banger. Redemption. They got a
Yeah,
lot riding on this one.
Yes, they do.
They got a lot riding on this one, because that Michigan loss is still in the back of their minds. It seems like they move forward from it, but to have another big defeat like that, I might not do good for Mr. Day.
yeah,
Judged by that every year, though. We're
yep.
judged by that Michigan game every year.
It is,
Just
man.
is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't even say the team's name. We say the team up
So,
north.
team
I
up
just
north.
like
Team up north. Sorry about that.
Shoot, I can't wait for college hoops to jump off though.
oh yeah.
My Kentucky Wildcats, we got a new coach. I'm happy about that. He got us on the right track. Uh, the guys seem to be buying into what he's selling, and hoorah for that.
Yeah.
And again, I got a rock. My team, North Carolina, ain't even ranked this year, so eh,
Yeah.
it's hard all the way around. But go Cavs. The
Tim
Cavs are
Flat
doing
said,
awesome.
"Go Notre Dame."
Oh, Tim.
Notre Dame.
Oh,
Oh, ridiculous.
wow.
You
I thought
talking
Tim
about
Flat was it.
the college football playoff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
I got
like
if it's
their
a Notre
approach.
Dame fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. My college hoop team depends on which one of my kids are playing. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's dope to have
I got to
options like that.
support them. Yeah, I got to support the Bucks. So
Yeah.
last one's at Edinburgh. So Edinburgh,
Edinburgh.
my favorite team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My son Jacob played football up there for a minute. So
Okay.
he broke his leg, and it was after the pandemic. He decided to move to Texas, so he graduated from Texas.
Oh well.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, well that's dope, man.
Yeah,
It's always good to see young people moving forward and doing positive in life, and just leading by example. So that's good. And in other news, Kylan Wilson. is it hit the transfer portal, flash for Furrow's very own.
Yes,
It'll
sir.
be exciting to see where he lands and what team will get a chance to tap into his greatness because he's definitely on the path to greatness. So fast shout out to Colin Wilson and the family. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see where he lands.
It's always good to see the local brothers doing that.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure. And this area got a wealth of talent. I'm telling you, not just athletic, but yeah, we got a whole lot of talent coming out of the F.
Heck shit. And thank you to everyone that tunes in every week, to all our supporters, my man Tim Flat, uh, Bubba, Richard Smith,
Yes, sir.
my cousins, multiple cousins and family members that tune in every week. We thank you. And like I like to say, power to the people. When you
You
see
see me,
me,
you
you
see
see
you.
you. Because here at the Furrow Podcast, we want to educate, inspire, motivate, and most of
Mhm.
y'all entertain.
Yes, sir.
So thank you to you all for tuning in. We greatly appreciate your support. And all businesses, make sure you tune in and tap into our local Facebook page. We have business opportunities. We're always looking for more sponsors. We want to shout out all our sponsors: Talbot's Tap Room and Terrace,
Sure.
our Mercer County local NAACP, and my brother Felix over at La Palma Restaurant. We greatly appreciate all the continued support. Thank you for being a sponsor. We look forward to getting more sponsors. Tap in, sponsors,
Yeah.
hit us up if you're watching the show. Call us, inbox us, hit up our personal number. We always looking for more people to sponsor.
Most definitely, man. It's been a pleasure to go over to. I seen you did a couple mukbangs over there, but Felix got some awesome food over there at La Palmas, bro.
Yes,
Menu,
yes.
burrito tacos, burrito burritos. He burrito and everything.
I'm just, I got to make it back over there and
Oh
soon,
yeah,
and get my fix.
yeah. Mister Anderson, it's right over in Measure, Ohio. Called La Palmas. Excellent Mexican food.
Okay.
The menu is food.
Yeah, it's out of sight.
Yep, Big Back approved by yours truly,
Not
DJ
big
Rich
back
Snacks.
approved. Okay. Big back approved. I see.
The Palmas, gotta love it. Yes, sir. And then earlier got into talking about how Rich and I worked up at the Mercer County Head Start, and
Sir.
it was located at the Hetra site, and everybody knows where John Hetra is at. And we're moving out of there, and the land behind it and the land that it was sitting on has been donated and to the city, and they're going to do some great things up there. We get a whole complex for the community to tap into, multiple facilities. It'll facilitate a lot of different things that people can go and get into in their extra downtime or whatever. But just want to talk a little bit about that. See if you, 'cause it was definitely announced and everything. But I want to, if you can expound a little further and give some people some details of what's going to be up there exactly.
Yeah. So Mr. Nathan and his family, a big business family in the area, historical um, uh, businesses, even over by the city building.
Uh,
Um, him and his cousins, him and I'm sorry, four of his cousins had inherited this 46 acres, 23 in Farrell, 23 in Hermitage, and he came to me and said, "You know what? We're trying to figure out something to do with this. All of our children moved away from the area, don't really have ties to Farrell, and what we like to do is we like to see a park in the area in our grandfather's name, the one who kind of left this or started this whole thing for all of us." And so he said, "You know, I'd like to come and talk to you about it." So he came in, and I thought a 46-acre park would be kind of daunting
oh yeah.
to be able to take care of. So I said, what if I come up with a plan and we sit down and go over it and see if your family could approve that?" And he said, "Well, sure." He said, you know, the park is kind of a deal breaker, though. There does need to be a park." So I got with some local engineers, and I got with the head of public works, Chief Renner, and Mark Yersky that's in zoning, and you know they gave me some historical background on the area, and we sat down and had a meeting, and next thing you know, he came back with a nice size park to have pavilions, hopefully a football field, maybe a couple baseball fields down there and some some trails on the on the land that will be a park, and then trails to go back into the woods as well,
Nice.
and some walking trails go back in the woods as well. But one thing I wanted to see was a portion of it for us to be able to find maybe a developer to come in and build some housing there, some houses that are comparable to the homes in the area already. It's a pretty nice
Nice.
housing um, market over there already, but there's a shortage of houses, right? That's one of the big things that was on the presidential talking points was that there's a housing shortage in the country. So we know there's a housing shortage in our area, and so we said, well, what if we could get a developer come in and build some houses over there? And so him and his he talked over with his family, and they loved it. So he came and officially donated the property to us, and last month's meeting, or not last month's meeting, but the month before in the meeting, and so that's what we're trying to develop now. We're going to work with the state, a couple programs in the state, ARC and probably DCNR, and get some funding. We're going to come with a master site plan, put some official drawings out, give people from the community the opportunity to come down and talk about it and ask questions and all that. And then hopefully and by 2026, we'll do some land breaking and be out there building this new complex. So we're excited about that. We're very excited about not only the donation, but for someone to think about pu- putting Farrell in a place where we have something the community to call our own, a place we can go around. Buell Park is beautiful. We don't take anything away from Buell Park, and we definitely Hermitage. They have some beautiful properties over there as well. But something in Farrell that could be our own that we could be proud of. So we're thinking that'll be an awesome opportunity for us.
Absolutely. That's all great. Awesome news.
Yeah,
We are blessed. As the one of my favorite church songs. We're blessed in the city. We're
Yes,
blessed
sir.
in the field. That's
Red.
one of my
Yeah,
favorite all time. So yeah, we are truly blessed in the city
yeah,
to
definitely.
have all those different things being brought to that land up there. And like one of the key things that caught my ear is the home this is going to be built up there on that land as well and in that area. Yeah, because it's such a nice area
Yeah,
up there. The homes look so lovely, and it's it's peaceful. It's a little bit more peaceful up towards that way. A little more wildlife, away from the inner city, because where we stay, or I stay on Romer, it's like sort of it would be deemed as kind of inner city, but
right.
up that way it's yeah, it's nice, peaceful, quiet,
peaceful and quiet.
lovely.
And with
Indeed.
we just built that house, that affordable house over on um, Spearman, and we put in some social media and some some even television media hype behind it, make sure people knew about it, putting it in paper.
Mhm.
People started calling like, "Hey, when are you going to build some housing for, that anybody can buy? When are you going to build some housing maybe up on the side of town where anyone can go and buy?" So the
Okay.
timing of it was perfect because it was like,
Yeah.
okay. Now we have the opportunity. Now we're not in the business of building houses, and the program that we're utilizing for the house over on Spearman, it's a special program, but if we can get a developer and we can, get them to come in and partner with us and believe in the potential and we can prove there's a market there, then we could see some, like I said, some of those houses being built over there. And the drawing that they put up, I mean, you're talking 15 to 20 houses that could be put over there. So that'll be exciting.
And the key thing is showing signs of tangible growth, and it's
Mhm.
showing that Furrow's not dead. Yeah. Oh, y'all thought they was tearing them houses down and stuff just to leave it like that? No, 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 no. You see everything. It was a vision. It was a plan all along, and it's and I know in my heart it's going to attract outside businesses to come in, just as well as appease the people that's here that want to move up and do better for themselves. That are in the position to be able to take advantage of those good opportunities that's coming in
Yeah, for
front of
sure.
us.
Right.
Because I was hearing the murmurs, to see why is they putting brand new sidewalks and paving streets where there ain't houses? Because we're talking pretty sure you got to have the infrastructure set straight for developers to want to come in and have give you a decent quality product built inside your city.
And developers also have to know that not only is the city going to do everything they can to make it something that's profitable for them, I mean, they're in business for a reason, but
Oh yeah.
also that the market can support it, right?
Yep.
Do we have the people with the income to purchase the homes? Do we have the kind
Yes,
of
sir.
people that will maintain the property value? So that people aren't worried about building next door to them or building up the street because the property value is going down after so long. So, there's a lot of things that come into play. And I think the biggest thing is for the administration to have a plan in place that makes sense, to have a plan in place that we're spending the tax dollars to build up the infrastructure. We're spending tax dollars to put the utilities so the utilities and things can be put in those types of areas so that when a developer does come and say, hey, I'm going to build there,
Hmm.
it makes sense for them to be able to do so. Idaho Street was a big project, and now if someone wanted to come in and build some housing up there, they can. They can come right in. There's sidewalks there. There's curbs there. The streets are paved. They can come in and say, okay, I'm going to build so many houses here, put an apartment building here, and it's ready for them to do so. So that Idaho Street plan did make sense. It may not have made a lot of sense to the average person, but it does make sense in the long run.
Yes, sir. And I'm from an era I can remember. I don't know if you remember my back day. We used to go to the city park and frequent that for birthdays, end of the year celebrations, for school. It's nice to see that we're gonna have a facility where we can have gatherings and family reunions and stuff within the city of Farrell. Definitely dope.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
He said, I don't know if you remember. Damn it, you a year older than me. What's wrong with you? That's that Cleveland stuff. I don't know you remember. Yeah, god dang. Yeah, what the heck?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
True story. True story. My father, Richard Perry Rivers, deceased, passed when I was 5. He worked in Youngstown and Cleveland.
okay,
I was under the impression by him living in those areas, he was a Browns fan. He was a Cowboys fan.
okay. Good man, good man.
Him and my uncle Lawrence, God rest, Cowboys fan. So, yeah, share passion for the Cowboys at times when they playing, just as long as they ain't playing the Browns.
Mm, mm, mm. See, and for all that, you should catch a fade. Which
I catch a fade.
which brings me to my minute with Mar P.
Yes, sir.
This week's minute with Mar P is sponsored by our sponsors, Mercer County NAACP. The Mercer County NAACP. That's right. We need everyone to go out and become lifelong members or monthly members. Tap in and get your membership with the Mercer County NAACP, the longest running chapter, you know, um, ever. NPA.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, I believe in
first
the first. So yeah, Mercer
chapter in the state of
County
Pennsylvania for sure.
NAACP. Support your local NAACP, and it's so important. They do a lot of stuff from behind the scenes and the stuff obviously that you do know about. But Minute with More P this week is featured about me,
Okay.
the leader of the Ballhead Nation. Now check this out. You see this is shining good. Lamont, I should have had you bring me on in. I'm fading people. You know what I mean? VJ, I seen you earlier on Facebook, mad at Chico going out of town. Don't be mad. I got all the bald head people. Me, you, Tyrone Lampkins, Earl Martin. It's a slew of the bald head crew. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I got you. Y'all come see me, Mark P, the leader of the bald head nation. I ain't playing. I got my little pack, y'all. Come see me. You know, I'm, I'm giving them out free too. You know what I mean? Mad look, first one free. First one on me, Mark P, the leader of the Ballhead Nation. Come see me. We giving out holiday baldies. If you want your head to look like they got armor all on it, but it don't, come see me, Mark P, the leader of the Ballhead Nation. And you get your official ball head. I'll have extended memberships and enrollment at the beginning of the year.
And they sold
Holler,
separately.
holler at me. Band-Aid so separate. Bump you. Bump you. Oh, and my family, Mark Talbert. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Once the developers invest, I wonder if they will also be targeted by the city with all the money grab ordinances that they keep creating that only help drive up the rent cost in Farrell. Would
That's
you?
that's Mr. Talbert.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would you like to speak to that?
I think Mr. Talbert's referring to the fact that you have to register your property with the city of Farrell.
Hmm.
Every city has a registration process for rental properties.
Hmm.
It's basically the cost of doing business in the city, right? But more so, what it allows the city to do is allows the city to monitor the housing market in the city, who's renting houses where, and then our inspectors are able to go in and inspect the property, ensure that the houses are safe and inhabitable for the families to go in there. It's free of hazards. And so a lot of times, if you want to say landlords such as Mr. Talbert or, or others think the city's trying to make money off them.
Hmm.
It's actually illegal for a city to make money. The money the city makes off of any program, such as a registration program
Hmm.
or a licensing program, has to be put, has to cover the cost of facilitating the program. We have one of the lowest rental registrations rates, or I'm sorry, fees that I know of in the area, but that allows us, like I said, to be able to go out and make sure that landlords are doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to managing and maintaining their properties. I'm sorry Mr. Talbot feels that way, and I did meet with him personally the other day and explained to him, but obviously he feels like it's a money grab. But Mr. Talbot or any other landlord or anybody else can come to the city building at any time and have that conversation with me first to first. I mean face to face, as opposed to as a comment on a chat
Cool.
online. So
And um, it's good to hear that your door is open and you are actually answering these questions when probably in the past, not even probably in the past, but in the past, I already know that uh, those answers weren't available, and if they were, it was probably passed on through someone else where they said this and that. So I commend you, for at least, opening up the door and being approachable, you know what I mean? And being accessible for people to answer these questions and not try to middleman people and everything. So,
and at the end of the day,
enough
that's our
respect.
job, right? We're here to manage the
Enough
city's
respect.
money. Mr. Talbot or anybody else can come and ask us any question they want about what's happening to the city. Now, I'm not going to sit there and someone just has an axe to grind. I'm not going to listen to that all day because I have work to do. But if you come in with a genuine question about a genuine concern that something's taking place, I've answered every question. I've met with every person that's come and asked me to. So again, I've been in other places where landlords feel that it's a money grab, but we can justify every dollar is collected. And as I said, it's one of the lowest fees that I've been around. It doesn't even, to me, actually even cover the cost of having someone go out and inspect the property, but it's the fee the council had in place.
That's what's up. Hey, Reg Davis. Much respect
Cash
to you
shout,
too,
bro.
bruh.
Yeah.
That's right. And
Us the support family.
And you see, here at the Farrell Podcast, once again, we are here to educate, motivate,
Motivate,
inspire, and entertain.
entertain.
And once again, we're blessed to have people on that can teach, give you critical knowledge, insight on anything,
Hmm.
So once again, we're blessed to have this platform and blessed to have people to come on and give us their time and effort. It's so greatly appreciated.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And now it's time for
Uh-oh.
In the Booth
What?
with your man DJ Rich Stacks.
Sir.
This episode of In the Booth with Rich Stacks is brought to you by none other than
Ooh.
La Palmas. La
Yes.
Palmas, Sharon Brookfield Road, Majory, Ohio. Go check out my man Felix.
Mm.
Some of them good vittles, man. We
Yes.
was just talking about them. Them burrito tacos smack. And if you need some encouragement, you can go check out the video on YouTube of P and MP24, P24 with the mukbang.
And all of Felix's dishes are very affordable,
Oh yeah.
made with the freshest ingredients.
And you get your money's worth.
That's right. And you're walking into a
Ooh,
nice, clean establishment. He has live entertainment Sunday to Sunday because he's open Sunday to Sunday. It's everything you want more. Take
yes,
your
yes.
family out, go on a date, or treat yourself. But go to La Palmas and tell Felix the Furrow Podcast sent you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And in this In the Booth for Rich Stacks, we're gonna be talking about an ironic, none other than my man Don Cartagena,
yes,
aka
sir.
Joey Crack. My man Fat Joe, he got a new project out called The World Has Changed Me. He just recently lost his older brother and said that he wanted to get back in the stew and put out a decent, solid body of work. He got some decent, real good quality songs on there. One of my favorites on there
Yeah.
is called Us. And it's dedication to his brother. You know what I'm saying? And then next song he got is I Got You featuring Babyface.
Okay.
Those are two of my top favorite songs on that project. I got to listen to about 4 or 5 cuts. Going to check out the rest of it over the holiday vacation.
I got to circle and check it out my dang
Yes,
self. I
sir.
seen a couple of features on there that I'm interested in.
I want to hear that one with him and Remy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, actually. And
yeah.
then they got Cool and Dre that made the one
Producing
beat
on it.
for him. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's good. It's
definitely going to be
quality.
a solid body of work.
I would have to agree.
And also posthumously, we have the late great Earl Simmons, aka DMX.
Yeah.
Let Us Pray Volume 10. Of course, it's posthumously put out after his passing, and this is one of the second projects he's done since his passing. On Let Us Pray, Chapter X. Um, his posthumous album project after his 2021 guest heavy album Exodus is a good body of work that I think I'm gonna check out over the vacation as well. It was just released this past Friday, and of course, you know DMX had a big, heavy influence in the hip hop game, and it was definitely a heavy loss for our hip hop community.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure once I tune into it and we all tune into it, we're gonna nod our head, bob,
Oh yeah,
cry a little bit and everything. Cause DMX, his lyrics and his poetry and his
touch your
prayers
soul.
all on there. It's like, it's emotional, you know what
Oh
I mean?
Yes, it
And
is.
how you in your feelings, because I was a deep brother, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Give Me a
So
Sign, one of the
Oh
hardest songs
man,
ever, boy.
yes,
hmm
yes.
man, Mr. Sean, are you up on any new music or what are you listening to currently right now?
I'm in I'm back in the day, bro.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Nothing wrong with
Back
it.
in the day,
Yeah.
every now and then,
Yeah.
one of the young bucks will make something I like. Of course, Jay-Z's the man,
You're
but
right.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
bro,
yeah. Come
but
on now.
every
Yes.
now and then, one
Yes, sir.
young bucks will make something like. I tell you, I think is kind of hype, but I'm a philosophical dude. Is the young dude Raw Wave? I kind of like his
Okay.
Rod
Yep,
Wave.
yep,
Oh
Rod
yep,
yeah,
Wave
yep,
put out
yeah,
some
yeah,
he put out some deep cuts, so I'm
yeah,
into that. But
yeah.
I'm also I'm also big on respecting our people and putting out the kind of art that
Mm-hmm.
advances our people and makes our people,
Mm-hmm.
shows the talent level our people have. Some of the stuff we put out to me is like, come on, man, did we really? But they was
Yeah,
doing it in our day
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
they was doing
We
it.
had
They
those
was
on.
putting out
Yeah.
stuff like that back in the day too. So I don't blame the young bucks.
But the thing I say about back day is we had more like there was more diverse and everybody wasn't just hopping on one thing, and everybody strived to have an original sound. And to me, if you wanted to hear that, you can go over here. You wanted to hear this, you can go over here. Now it's just if it's a hot sound, everybody trying to be on it.
You
I
can't.
think that kind of differentiates like the music when we was coming up.
Well, you
That's
can't
Yeah.
blame them for trying to get paid, though.
oh
They're
yeah.
trying to get paid. They're trying to do everything they can to make it in the industry. So sometimes you do. You compromise to get a little older, and then now you put out the art you want. And I think that's where people like Jay-Z and Eminem and some of the other cats they got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna put out what I want now because I'm
Hmm.
established. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We got a question from the viewers. It says two questions. One, the status of the State Event Library. And are there plans to restore the traffic lights on Romer?
the State of Van Library, I just left a meeting about that. It's a little more complicated. There's definitely plans to for the city to once be back in if you want to say administration of the library solely, but it's a little more complicated. There were some unforeseen steps that took place once the library was taken over by CLSV. So it's a little more difficult, a little more complicated than just saying, yeah, we're going to do it. But there are plans for us to actually begin to administer it as a city ourselves. That's that's kind of the hope. But when the state's involved and there's state funding involved, bureaucracies always come to play, and
Hmm.
the wheels of justice turn slow. Well,
Okay.
so do the wheels of government funding. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just at a meeting before I came here discussing that with Mr. Hall and the current board members. So
Hmm.
we are working on that. And then restoring traffic lights on Romer, um, same premise, right? There was somebody that they started wheels turning that maybe never should have been started, and that road is actually controlled by the state. Actually, the state doesn't want us there to be any lights on Romer. Whatever happened prior to my being here, there was a traffic study done, and they said that the amount of traffic on the street doesn't warrant traffic lights at all. And so I want to say almost in a level of defiance. Some of the administration at the city said, "Well, we're going to leave at least the blinkers up to kind of keep the cars going slow up there as
Uh-huh.
slow as we possibly can."
Yeah.
But ultimately, for us to be able to control that, it's going to require some meetings with the state, which we haven't been able to have just yet. I'm only well, actually 7 months into the job, but we are trying to work on that to kind of get some rumor back to where it once was. But we that is a decision that's beyond my administration, even city council. So, like I said, we've been working on that for 3 months though now. So we'll see where that ends up. So there's plans to want to restore them, but we
Mhm.
don't have the final say, if that makes sense.
And living directly on rumors, you pull up and see about those lights.
Yeah.
And they could leave the blinkers up because our community have we're now adjusted to those just being blinkers. Before, yeah, it was
Whole
bad.
adjustment.
It was a
Yeah.
trauma. It was scary, because we're used to those lights. And yeah, as you can see, Romer's a hill, so people are picking up traffic. I mean, picking up speed going down the hill and flying up the hill. So to have the blinkers there, I think that they can just stop on that, leave the blinkers there, because as you can see, I don't know what kind of study they did. That's a heavily traveled street. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they came up with that.
Well,
Oh,
it's
it wasn't, you know what I
yeah, and I
mean?
think it's community size. I mean, the community is a fourth of the size it used to be. But I always say this, and I'll contend this till I die. And again, and it's my job to be an administrator. But I say this, and I mean this with all seriousness. And I don't care what community I'm in. At the end of the day, it's on the people, right? It's on
Mm,
the people. If the people are tired of people speeding, then the people should get on their neighbor. We know who speeds. We know who does what. We know who does what in our community.
yeah,
We always know who's doing what. The streets
yeah,
know what's happening before the law do.
true.
So at the
You're
end of the
right.
day, you know who's speeding. Stop them.
Yeah,
Tell
police
your neighbor, quit speeding.
ourselves.
Our kids are on that street because, like I said, the wheels of administration turn very slow. And when the state's involved, it's even slower. It's not like I can just go to the council meeting, make a recommendation, and councils vote and say that's what we're going to do. So I always say, police it ourselves. If I
Mm,
don't like something, well, I live in Farrell now, but if I don't like something that was happening in the neighborhood I grew up in, I went and knocked on the neighbor's door and we talked about it. So go to our people and say to them, hey, we need this or we that. Because the same thing happened with the park. We get millions of dollars to build this park over here and put these trails in. If our people don't respect it and we go there and tear it up and do whatever to it, that's not on the city. That's not on the police. That's on us as a community. So anything you could do, any person you can go to and say this is what needs to be done, or hey man, stop doing that. Sometimes it does have to come from one of you, and sometimes coming from someone like the Farrell podcast
yeah, yeah.
or you two gentlemen or the young ladies asking the question. Sometimes coming from you carries more weight than coming from me or coming from city council. So
Mark says respect to the new city manager Anderson for coming to the Federal Podcast and being accessible.
thank you, Mr.
Much respect.
Talbot. Yes, and
Yeah. Much respect, Mark.
And
Appreciate you,
and
bro.
then Farrell, we have to stop parking up by the school past and by the softball
yes,
field.
sir.
Just the other day, I finally seen why they have those signs up there and fully understand why the cops give out tickets. And I think they should probably give out stiffer tickets because I finally got a chance to see. I'm coming up Romer. It was an assembly there, and the cars were parked all the way dang near back to the light. We have to start parking there. It's signs there for a reason to say don't park there. I don't care. Say what y'all want, quit parking there. And I encourage the cops to, when they know that it's an assembly up there, to go up there and get them tickets because I had to stop. That's sad. I was going up Romer, and it was a guy that was coming opposite way, and the green arrow light came for him to make the right to go down Romer, couldn't even make the right to go down Romer because it was cars parked all the way back. We got to stop citizens for all. If you got kids up there, you got to find a different place to park at because you can no longer park there. It is dangerous, and the cops are right for ticketing people heavily, and they probably should ticket you even more heavily because the park there is dangerous and sad. We can't do it no more, y'all. We
One
can't do it. It's over.
One of the greatest things I heard as a young man was you can't legislate morality, right? It doesn't matter how powerful the government is, doesn't matter how who's in office, you can't legislate morality. And part of morality is caring about your community.
Yeah.
You no matter what I say, no matter what council says, no matter what the chief of police says, we can't force people to care. And one thing that happens when a community puts pressure on the people within the community, it forces them to care, right? Your neighbor telling you to care. Your neighbor telling you, listen, man, my kids go to that school. I want my kids to be safe. Stop speeding up and down the street. That can carry a lot more weight. And I say this, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. When I was a buck, my family lives over here. My Aunt Minerva, my Uncle Curtis Hilton, my cousin
Mm.
Marie. I used to come over
Oh.
here when I was a kid. One thing I always respected when I came over here was if we were at the playground, we were making too much noise, and the dog would come down. Y'all stop making all that noise, and we listen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right now, they might have acted silly or made fun of when they left, but we listened when the adult was there. The people in the community cared about the community. They stepped out and they would say something about it. And it seems like we as a people have stopped caring about our community. We've stopped
Yeah.
caring about what happens to take place. And what we want to do is we're going to run down to a building and put the onus on a group of people who don't often have as much influence as we do. It's just how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I grew up in an era my grandpa told me, he said, you got to respect what you got in order to get better.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't respect what you got, then you're not going to get better.
Yes, sir. When people keep asking me, well, when are you going to bring economy to the city, or when are you going to bring new programs to the city? And this is what I always say: I cannot go out to these other communities, to these other agencies, to these state level programs, and say, hey, we want you to come down and care about Farrell till we care. I can't go to them and say, give me millions of dollars to put into this housing program till they see we care about the houses we currently have.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
can't go to them and say, hey, we're going to compete for that grant with another community, but we expect you to give it to us because our low to moderate income so high. When they show up and we're not taking care of what we already have. That's one of the biggest determining factors is when they look at you and you apply for grant dollars and they say, "Do you have the capacity? Do you have the people in your community that are able to be a part of it?" I just applied for a grant through this program called DCTS, Distressed Communities Technical Assistance, and what this grant does is they send you a national level economic or national level community development group to come in and help you put together a comprehensive plan and get some funding for the future of your community. One thing this group does though when they come in is they ask you who in your community who's community leaders. Who can I go to? Who's the most prominent community? What's the most prominent church? Who are the most prominent people who can draw people to something? What they do is they go and they get those people involved. They don't just sit with me and city council and the people in my administration and ask questions. They want to come meet people like you and they bring you to the table and they ask you questions. If those people aren't there, they're gonna be like, what are you asking us to help you build?
Yeah.
Right? If those people aren't saying good things, if those people aren't pushing for good programs, if those people aren't taking care of what they already have, they're gonna be like, Sean, what are you asking us to kind of be a part of? What plan do you want us to put in place? If you don't care, why should I? Right? And so
Yeah.
that's my push and my press. I'm going out to the county and I met with the county commissioners and I said, I want you involved in our plan because we're your citizens. The people of Farrell are your citizens just as much as they are city councils, Farrell City Council citizens. They're you're just as responsible for what happens in Farrell as I am.
Mhm.
Right? They said that's one of the first times that they've ever had anybody from our administration go and ask them to be a part of what they're doing. Right? I'm Miss Selena King, um,
Mhm.
the superintendent's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm contacting her. She's making phone calls. She's putting me in contact with people who I'm getting on Zoom calls with, and they're saying, "What are the plans for fair?" And I'm saying we're developing them, but what programs are out there for us to develop and be a part of? And they're like, "Okay, well, you can get in this program, that program," but again. They always want to know what do you bring to the table. So they're
Mhm.
sending me questionnaires and asking, well, what are you doing currently? What's there currently? And what do you want us to build upon? I want to be able to say that we have a community of people who take pride in what we currently have, who take pride in what we're building, and who now, when you come, they're going to get on board and help you build something even greater. But I'm sitting here right now on a podcast, and we talking about the fact that we can't stop people from speeding up and down Romer.
Yeah.
Seriously, we can't stop people, and there are only 4,200 of us, so we know who it is.
Mhm.
Okay? And we can't say, look, man, our schools are in that street, stop speeding. Or our city buildings at the end of it. Or there's a public housing apartment building at the end of that
Right
building
down
with
the
some
street.
elderly people.
Yeah.
Stop speeding up and down that street. We can't say that. We can't make that kind of demand to our people, but we want somebody to come in and give us $2 million so we can build new houses. Come on, man.
Mhm.
Like be um, we have to be willing to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem.
Well,
And I said this before we got on air, and your son chastised me, but I said this and I say this every time I go somewhere. I'm never coming to the table. I don't care who I'm sitting with. I don't care what group I'm going to. I'm never coming to the table with my hands out. Right? When I walk in a room, I want to walk in a room. Here's what I'll be able to say. I'm the city manager for the city of Farrell. My team's behind me. This is what we bring to the table. How can you work with us to help us make it better? I don't want to come and say, oh, help us because we're economically distressed. Oh, help us because we have a 75.3 low to moderate income. What I want to be able to say is, no, 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 no. I got these talented and these prideful people behind us. I got these people ready to build their own community behind me. And so now, what can you do to help us? That's what I want to see happen. That's what I want to be able to say. And the more people we get involved, the more people we get engaged. I don't care what walk of life you're from. I don't care what your career is. I don't care what your business is or your business isn't. The more talented people we get behind us, the more caring people that get behind me, the more I can go to the table and say, "See, I told you." We just need a chance, right? We
Hmm.
just need you to make a call for us. We just need you to say, "Hey, give them this funding because they're ready for this." We just need you to say, "Hey, you know what? Open this door for them." Because if you open the door for us, I promise you, we'll walk through it.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, sir. And
sure.
and speaking of bringing stuff to the table, we want to bring you your flowers.
Yes,
And
sir.
so far, this is the favorite part of the show,
Indeed.
and I will let Richard do his due diligence.
Well, as you've already learned, Mr. Shawn Anderson is the Pearl City manager. He's a wealth of knowledge. Lifetime resident of Newcastle?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Um, he also worked in the city of Newcastle, including community economic development director,
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, coordinator, and I was
coordinator.
director of code enforcement.
Okay. And he came to the city of Farrell as the Farrell city manager. My first interaction with Mr. Anderson was at, of all things, Juneteenth. And as soon as we met him, I
Yes.
can tell about his passion for the city. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, yeah, we got a real city manager this time. He actually cares about the community. Um, with no further ado, Mr. Sean, excuse me for doing this. I'm a movie buff, The Matrix. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Sean Anderson.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yes,
very much for
sir,
that. I
Mr. Shawn
appreciate it.
Andrews. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you
for
for
coming
coming
on,
on.
Mr.
Thank you. Thank
Anderson.
you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
you've been dropping nothing but gems on us ever since you came in the door. I wish y'all could have heard the conversation off camera before. It's just similar as what we had here, but we're talking about sports, and this man is awfully knowledgeable. Now, we talked about the development in the city of Farrell. Can you give an overview of some of the current situations you see that the city can improve in the next 5 to 10 years?
The number one thing we need to do, we own a lot of lots. We own a lot of
Uh-huh.
vacant lots. We tore houses down, plus there were some houses that were, other people torn down, but we have a lot of vacant lots. So one plan we need to have, and one thing we want to do, a big part of our comprehensive plan will be a housing development plan, right? But we need a rehab plan. We have a lot of older people in our community. 20% of our community is 65 years old and older. A lot
Hmm.
of those people don't have the disposable incomes with the mills being gone and jobs being gone. So they haven't had the disposable income to keep their property up. Their property's not quite to the point where it needs to be torn down, but a rehabilitation program would help. Now we have a small rehabilitation program in place right now, but it's
Hmm.
$750,000. We're spending about an average of $70,000 per house. So we're about to do able to do about 10 houses per year. So one of our plans is going to be to do everything we can to find hopefully some HUD money and get some real rehabilitation dollars in this community. Another thing I want to do, and I know Mr. Talbert was a little upset about what he called the money grab earlier, but one of the things I want to do is I want to be able to, there's money out there where we can help. We can work with landlords to help them rehab some of their rental properties.
That's great.
We want to put a real viable rental program in place where people are able to come in and rent quality, affordable rental properties in our city. And we could say we have a great rental market in Farrell because that's something that attracts people. A lot of people work in the Hermitage, work in Sharon, but it's a little cheaper to live in Farrell. So if
Uh-huh.
we had those kind of homes before we build new homes, if we had those kind of homes, we work with our landlords to get their properties up to snuff. That would be phenomenal. As well. That's the number one thing I think we need to look at is what can we do for our current homeowners and some of our landlords to help um, improve our current housing market. Then after that, we look down the road to, like I said, the development, building houses over there, getting getting some of our lot ready so that once we do increase the property value and the value of the homes, excuse me, in certain communities that they'll come in and they'll build on some of those vacant lots. We have
Mhm.
some vacant lots up Emerson. I'd like to see built on like we built on Spearman. So council bought me in, and council understood the challenges that were before them. Mayor Doss and her council members understood the challenge before them, and they laid out some things they felt really need to be taken care of. And I said that, from my current experience as well as the knowledge of the agencies that are out there, I think I'm the guy that could do that. So we've identified those things, and the young lady's asking us, have we identified people in the Farrell community to have seated those tables? We have, but there's more people out there who haven't stepped up, people we don't know about. We need some younger people. We need some young people who are the future of our community come and get at this table so that when people like Mayor Doss or Mr. Craig or Mr. Rock are gone, that they could be ready to take their place. When people like myself move on, there's someone who was around, they understand enough so that now they're not only in line to take our place, but they have the knowledge and the skill set to take our place and to be impactful and effective when they do so. So for for our community, for what our community has come from, we're primed for a rebuild,
Oh yeah.
right? But again, it takes, and I'm going to keep saying this till till I'm gone or it happens. It takes all of us coming to the table. One of my big things I preach to my staff is it's the we versus me conflicts, right? That we're willing to make those sacrifices. I want to get to the other end of the room as fast as I possibly can too, right? But it's we versus me. I'm going to do the speed limit because it's safer for all of us when I do that, right? I need some people who come down and help work at the city building. Some people who come down and get on these committees. Some people that make call the Mayor Dosses or the Carmelo Cranes or the Robert Burich or the Andrew Harkless. Say, you know what? I have this skill set. And I'm willing to lend this skill set to the city to increase your capacity. Let's go. Some people who are willing to come to the table and say, you know what? I know you can't pay me for this, but I'm willing to come down and be a part of this, or willing to come down and be a part of that because it makes us, like I said, that much more effective when we do go and put programs in place. So, if you don't stop me, I'll talk the rest of the I'll talk
Oh,
the
that's
rest.
what you
Hey, how can Furrow better retain young talent and professionals in this area? Because when we was coming up, they was always saying, "Don't stay here," "Ain't nothing here," and all that. So,
Well,
what do you
require
think?
you need opportunity, right? What keeps you somewhere? Opportunity.
Yeah,
That's what keeps you somewhere. Can we present opportunity? Right now, we can't. And even like I said, I was talking to someone. They were saying, "Well, our young people want to move to Hermitage or Sharon, the ones who do stay in here." And I said, "You know why? Because we don't have homes here that are attractive to them,
yeah,
right?
that
yeah.
We
part.
don't.
Yeah,
Grandpa's passed. Grandma's working off Social Security, fixed income. She can't put the money into the family homestead to keep it how it used to be
yeah,
when we were younger. I don't want to inherit that house, right? So I want to go get this nice apartment in Hermitage. I want to get this nice apartment in Sharon. I got a good job in the area, but I want to go live over there because it's better. So when we have programs in place to help those people keep those homes up or be able to give them a few dollars so they can put some renovations into their home. Now that young buck, he wants to inherit the family home because once he gets in, he starts making his money. He can make it the home he wants it to be. But you have to understand one of the greatest things I ever heard. I used to be a public speaker. One of the greatest things I ever heard was you have to know the audience, right?
Mhm.
hmm
Right. So we as administration have to know the audience. So when you want young bucks to stay here, you have to know what's going to attract them. Opportunity is going to attract them. The
yeah,
opportunity to inherit a home that's worth something. The opportunity to inherit some property that has good value. The opportunity to get a job where I
yeah.
can look at a 5, 10 year career where now I'm in charge or I'm moving up the ladder as it goes. We have to create opportunities if we want our young people to stay. And if we don't, well, we're just blowing in the wind.
And speaking of younger generation, what were the two questions that you said that you always
Oh,
ask?
so yeah. So when I teach my class, my social emotional character development class, I ask the kids two questions because it's about their goals and them ultimately realizing their potential. And the first question is, where do you plan to be in 5 years?
Mm,
And the second question is, what are you doing every day to get there? And I got those two questions from the fact that I'm a business consultant, right? And what do our people? Our people have a plethora of business ideas,
Mhm.
but they want to sit down with me, and the first thing they want to do is they want to rat off this business idea. And I go, okay, so what are your 5 year business goals? And
mhm.
they'll tell me, and I go, okay, but what are you doing every day to get yourself there? Are you saving money? Are you writing a business plan? Are you networking? Are you meeting people? Are you building your client base? Are you increasing your skill set? What are you doing every day to get you to your 5 year goal? We say this all the time, right? People go, "Hey man, this New Year's Eve right around the corner, man. I'm losing that 50 pounds next
Yeah.
year." And it's like, okay, so your plan is to be 50 pounds lighter. What are you doing every day to get there?
Right.
What you mean? So, bro, did you get them Krispy Kreme from McDonald's? I sure did.
Those new nuggets
Right.
from Taco
Did,
Bell.
did you eat did you eat that third plate at Thanksgiving and now Christmas is coming? I sure did. Bro, you're not doing anything to work towards your goal. And that's what our administration is about. Council wants us to work towards the goal of creating an infrastructure that is attractive to our young people and is attractive to new business. If we're not doing something every day to get there, then we're just blowing in the wind. And ultimately, 5 years going to come and we're going to be sitting around having that same conversation. Well, hopefully by then we'll be out of a job because somebody fired us because we didn't do what we say we're going to do. You have to daily. What is more important than your goal? You have to be daily working towards your goal. I introduced the
Mhm.
city to a new premise when I came in. It's one of my favorite business quotes. And it says, "You do not rise to the level of your goal, you fall to the level of your systems," right? And that's what we do. We can say all day long that our goal is in 5 years to have a housing development. What system do you have in place to have a housing development? I
Mhm.
told Mr. Talbert, and I was talking to code enforcement, and I said, my 5 year goal for code enforcement is that we help develop a quality and affordable housing program
Uh-huh.
that people come in and they're renting a house, and when they're paying 800 $850 for a rental, that rental is worth every bit of $850 that they're paying. Do I have steps in place to help? Yes, I do. I'm getting certified um, inspectors to come in. I'm
Dope.
putting the I'm making sure the program is in place so that we're keeping up with the rentals and we know who's doing what where. We're
Absolutely.
communicating with our landlords. We're talking to HUD about how do we get dollars in here to help these landlords fix up these properties. We're putting steps in place to get that program there. If you are not working towards your goal, then it's just a dream. And well, you have dreams at night, man.
Yeah,
Right?
That's right.
yeah,
It is what
facts.
it
Right.
is. So I
And
don't
that's like
want to
you
sleep.
say, like you
Yep.
can talk about it, but
That's right.
end of the day, talk about it. You got to be about it.
I don't want to
Put in the
sleep.
work.
My dream is in 2014, man. It's not tear on my person, but it's 2014. I'd lost a six-figure job as CEO in 2012. I spent a couple of years trying to recover from that financially. I could, and I got divorced. 2014, I made $14,000 that year. My son, my youngest son, my oldest son had just went to the Naval Academy. My daughter just went to Penn State, Maine. I had two kids in college. My youngest son was, I think, 11 at the time, and I made $14,000 that year being divorced. And I said, I got this big old house. I have no income. I got to do something. I put a plan in place to
Mm-hmm.
be where I am today. And 10 years later, I'm the city manager in Farrell. But
Yes.
every year, I got closer and closer to my goal. Every year, I worked as hard as I could to bring my not dreams, but my goals to pass, right? That's what we have to do as a community. If our goal is to stop speeding on Romer, we need to put a plan in
Mm-hmm.
place. And that plan isn't, well, the police need to give them tickets. That plan is we need to demand
Yeah.
greater from our community. We
Absolutely.
need to
Yeah.
demand greater from our neighbor. We need to demand greater from our kids. And most importantly, we need to demand greater from ourselves. And when we start doing that, guess what? They're gonna look at Farrell and be like, wasn't Farrell just a minute
Yes,
ago
sir.
a struggling community? How'd they get how'd Farrell put a $2.5 million park on 64 acres?
Yeah.
How'd Farrell get the funding to rebuild these Didn't this street used to look like no, we're not there no more, right?
No,
Mm-hmm.
Don't judge us from where we are, judge us for where we're going. And we're not
exactly.
going somewhere if
It's
we
a
don't go
new
together. I
dawn.
just
It's a
believe
new
that.
day, and I'm feeling good. Da-da,
Da-da.
da-da, 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 da-da. Hey, cuz. Hey, Gail. Much love to you. And as always, every guest that come on, we
You
have
get you a gift.
a
Okay.
nice gift
Oh, it's
for you.
Christmas is coming.
Yes,
All right, so
sir. Merry
kind of happy, bro.
Christmas.
Bad boy. So I gotta open it on air.
Hey, Frank Chance.
Okay, well,
Do what you like.
I'll open it when we get up.
Okay.
I'll
And
take
and
it relax.
when you get your gift, you also get this question. We started by my homie KB.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Shout out DJ
Much
KB.
love. Hold up. Much love to DJ KB.
Yep.
Rest in peace. Much love
One
always to
love. Always
BK.
BK all day.
One love and big shout out to Eric Bell Jr., better known as Encyclopedia E. Do it all just like
EJ.
me, my brother.
Yes, sir. If you had a time machine or had the ability to go back in time and talk to your 16-year-old self, what would be three key pieces of advice you would give yourself?
Um, well, I would tell myself the same three things over and over again because it's something I didn't do when I was young. But listen, listen, listen. Right?
All of
The
us.
older people in front of us, the people that have gone before us, there's a reason that they're before us, right? They went down the road that we are on our way down. And I've had the greatest opportunity to have some of the greatest advice in my life. But when I was younger, I didn't always listen. But I just said this to me and my son were Christmas shopping today, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Dad, I feel like sometimes, the older generation doesn't understand us, and you're so hard." And I said, "Here's what you need to understand, bro, and this is all that matters, right? At the end of the day, it's our job to help you become better than we were.
Yes.
It's our job to point you in the right direction and help you be better at our age than we were." And that's it. And that's all I care about. I had some people before me that was like, "Boy, do this. Boy, you talented. You should. Boy, you gifted. Do this." But I was smarter than everybody, and I didn't listen. But at minimum, the seeds they planted became the framework for the man I am today. For the man that, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I deserve the job I have because I'm the kind of man that's going to go to bat for the community that I'm a part of. And I'm going to put the things in place to help us get where we're going because I understand the struggle because I've been there and I struggled because I wouldn't listen though.
Yeah.
And so I would tell my younger self, listen, bruh. If you don't do nothing else, listen. And so that's what I would tell myself.
I beg to differ though, Mr. Anderson, because one of my favorite artists right now, Kendrick Lamar, got a song out called "I Deserve It All." It ain't tooting your own horn when you speaking facts though.
I
When you
appreciate that.
speaking facts, it ain't it
Sir.
ain't it ain't tooting your own horn, sir.
I definitely
Uh,
appreciate that.
it's definitely been an honor for you to be on the show. We thank you for all the knowledge you imparted on us today. And for everybody at home, I just want to say one thing. This is the time of the year where we got to check in on each other.
Yeah.
The holidays is always the hardest time, especially with people that recently just lost somebody or may have lost somebody long time ago. That feeling don't never leave. Trust me. The sweater that I'm wearing today is a memory of my mom, Judy Hughes, who bought me this sweater right here. I think it was the winter of '91. I got this. My mom brought me this. Check in on your peoples, make sure they good, and love on each other, man. Love your family, love your community, and stay healthy, wealthy, and wise going into the new year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Mr. Sean, we'd like to thank you for coming on and
Thank you for having me.
all you've learned. And you said you go back and tell yourself, listen, listen, listen. Yeah, but all the stuff you didn't listen and you absorbed
Mhm.
turned out great because you have become a continued blessing to our community. We greatly appreciate you. We
Thank you,
thank
sir.
God for sending you to us.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough. If I had 1,000 tongues, I can never thank you enough. And may God continue to keep blessing you abundantly daily so you can continue to be a blessing to not only us, but your family. And it's so important. You inspire me too, because obviously my son and I don't know if you know, we stay here together in this home. So, we have a relationship too, just like you and your son. And
Yes, sir.
I truly, so that was heartfelt. But we thank you for coming on
Thank you
and
for having me. I
thank
appreciate you
you
guys.
for all the time and effort you put into our city.
Yes, sir. And welcome to the city of Farrell.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
officially,
sir.
You
I'm
officially been
officially,
on the
my
Farrell
driver's license
podcast.
changed, but
Yes, sir.
I'm official. I'm official.
He's in Mercer County, or as Richard like to
Yes, sir.
say,
I'm
a
Farillian.
Farillian.
You're Farillian now.
Really clean that.
Sir. Yes,
Really.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So thank you. We thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you to each and everyone. Reg Davis, we love you.
One love, fam.
We love everyone that tunes in every week. We greatly appreciate you. Much love and respect. Thank you for taking time out to tune in live. It's greatly appreciated. And we signing off.
Yeah.
The Furrow Podcast Season 2. Merry Christmas
Merry
to
Christmas,
everyone.
Farrell.
Merry Christmas, Farrell.
Peace out.
One love, always.